I don't think either side has a big edge. And again, historically, this matchup has gone to draws in group stage outside of DreamLeague 19. So I'm keen to see if this still maintains. Going to be interesting to watch. Early smoke out from both sides. See if any shenanigans come out.
See if there's a level 1 team fight to break out here. Ward's down from Lal. Nobody going to spot that out. Hugh's going through a twin gate at the moment. He's going to head down bot lane as well. I think Team Spirit would be more likely the kind of team that would want the level 1 team fight. Talon look a little bit more happy to just try and get to the laning stage after taking 2 bounties.
30 seconds to battle.
Just play it safe. Their level 1s on Talon isn't necessarily the best. Again, there's a bit of a lack of control. You wouldn't necessarily want to get level 1 pounce on 23 to try to get a kill. Neither would you really want level 1 telekinesis here for Ollie or level 1 shackles for Mikado, so not in their favor to truly force something out. Jabs will take point though. I mean, he is a Timbersaw.
Yatoro going to be spotted. Jabs will move in. Glimpse is back already onto Jabs.
The battle begins.
Ollie going to show up now to make sure they secure both bounties here. Team Spirit will do the exact same thing down to the bottom bounty rune spot. So 2 for 2 trade on the bounties. Nice even start between the two teams. I suppose we should start with the mid lane while we're around here. We've got Makoto, of course. He's playing that mid Wind Ranger against Lal on the Queen of Pain mid. The mid Wind Ranger versing the co-op matchup, John, do you kind of favor one hero over the other in the 1v1 matchup?
I'd say it's not too bad for either side. You do have the Wind Run to at least outrun and dodge out the physical right click Laurel might want to do to harass. Both sides do have a decent enough time in clearing out the creep wave with her own spells. Power shot up against Scream of Pain, not too bad, not too shabby. I think the one concern is down the line. With a couple of levels, Mikado's right clicks will be better. It's just a matter of fact with universal hero typing and with a couple of stat items up. So I think that's the one thing Laurel will have to watch out for as the lane develops.
Bottom lane, First Blood already breaking out. Collapse able to secure the kill. Excuse me, rather going down. 23 securing the kill here on the Slark. That was a little bit surprising. I thought the Beastmaster Ench lane was going to be a little bit more dominant than that, but it turns out Talon, they find a way to secure First Blood.
They just run down. That's 23 with just the Essence Shift. You didn't really have control in this lane. No telekinesis out as well from Ollie. And you do have to kind of just maintain your spacing here in Miposhka, because overall you should have very safe harassment to apply onto the Slark with the impetus, with the axes coming out. This should not be a simple lane for 23 Savage, but the First Blood definitely allowing him a little bit more room to breed, although as the levels go up, it does not simplify for Talon. Team Spirit should get more and more as you get more experience. Granted, your large camp is blocked off, so the impact of the Ench not as big without the creep, but you almost don't even need the creep to kind of play here anyway. Just impetus alone up against a melee hero feels pretty damn good.
Well, you can de-ward it now. Like, he'll notice that the large camp is blocked. Needs the level 2 enchant anyway to really get the large creep, so just kind of waits it out a little bit. Not too big of a deal. Levels are coming up though. This bottom duo of Team Spirit are going to get much stronger, but for now 23 Savage is going to have a pretty good time. Not too much pressure being applied onto the Slark. Of course, top lane, Yatoro and Mira against Jabs and Q on the Clinks. We did see a lot of pressure being applied to Yatoro, but he's having a much better time now. Does hit that level 2 mark, so it feels a lot safer. Because you do have to be a little bit worried about the whirling death of the Timbersaw, because you can kind of underestimate how much stat steal is going to be there with the whirling death and how much damage it does deal. Yatoro, if he does get caught, can be a little bit dangerous. But again, this guy's kind of like a Morphling specialist, so it's hard to imagine Yatoro messing up with the stats.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard for him to just maintain the lane. The farming pace is a little bit slower than you'd want it to be, but it's also not too bad. And Mira already had to salve up, but that's just a consequence of laning up against a Clinks as a disruptor. And the Clinks just enjoys low armor heroes. But shoving out Yatoro himself can be a bit of a tall order. Maybe by level 5 you can start to see some kill threat on either side. As it is right now, not the worst thing in the world. Again, the tree line's already cut down as well, so the impact of some whirling deaths here not as big as you'd want it to be for Jabs.
Yeah. Mid lane quite passive here between Lal and Mikoto. The XP is practically exactly the same. Lal finding himself slightly ahead, but nothing to write home about. As bottom lane, Maposhka about to drop does go down. Ollie able to pick up that kill on the Enchantress. So Maposhka literally just getting run down there. You see, the Pounce was committed to hold him down for a second, but yeah, ultimately just running him down, and the Ench just could not survive through the onslaught.
This is some good aggression coming out from Talon. Getting a bit of an early level 3 spike on 23, utilizing having the Dark Pact and the Pounce at hand to just punish a lower level Enchantress. Again, with no creep to play with, it feels a little bit rougher. Savage is alone right now, so is a bit susceptible to harass, but isn't going to be really bullied out too hard while Ollie goes to secure a rune. Aggressive blink forward from Laurel here, though.
He's trying to get aggressive here onto Makoto. Makoto is taking a lot of damage. He might just actually be dead. Makoto, one charges are there. He'll pop a bottle charge. Lal's still going in. Makoto might just die to the Shadow Strike, and he will. Lal understanding exactly how far he needed to go. Does just blink out. As cool guys do not look at explosions. And poor old Makoto, he will die alone.
It's a big kill for Laurel. Gonna land an early level 6, perhaps threatened with a Sonic Wave down the line here. Makoto, a little bit behind now. Not gonna be feeling too good, stalling out on his own 6 timing with a Focus Fire. Has the pocket level 5 point, so can kind of decide whether or not he needs the extra Wind Run or the Shackle Shot in this lane. At the least, he does have his Bracer up, so again, the right-click harass for the Wind Ranger is pretty damn good at this point. A lot more durability to play with as well, but the level 3 Shadow Strike is a little bit overwhelming for the Wind Ranger to deal with. Can't really do much with a Wind Run to try to dodge that out. It's just gonna constantly tick you down here.
3 heroes down here in the bottom lane from Talon. Both supports have rotated around with the Slark. Though no kind of harassment really coming out against Spirit down the bot lane. Of course, they do leave Jabs up top by himself here against Yatoro. And Yatoro getting a little bit low. Jabs really playing around here with the Morphling. Has the Whirling Death up, but Yatoro is just making sure he's always keeping healthy with the strength gain. Of course, Jabs doesn't need any supports around at this point, being level 5. Yatoro is probably the one that actually needs the help, because Jabs just continues moving in, not leaving the Morphling alone. But he's going to be fine to back off for now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, mid lane, Mira is hanging around with Lal. Ollie's going to show himself as well on the Rubik. But it seems like Ollie's looking to just head up towards the top lane and maybe try to help out Jabs a little bit. See if they can find a kill onto Yatoro. Yatoro is consistently just very low in terms of HP. Like one Whirling Death plus a Fate Bolt, Yatoro's just dead. As bottom lane, Poshka again going to die. 23 Savage able to secure that one. Now top, Ollie is waiting patiently for Yatoro. Jabs, Whirling Death is going to be there. No, he's not even going to commit it. Yatoro is still just perfectly fine. They just don't have the burst damage right now for the Morph. He will be able to escape.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mira, he's just stealing a 7-minute Wisdom Rune away. So Talon, they kind of forget about it.
They're just really focused in on the lanes. Managed to slide away there for Team Spirit. Pretty big takes considering how the lanes are going. Again, your supports aren't really hanging in lane. You've been dying quite a fair bit on Maposhka. So the double rune does help out for both the Disruptor and the Ench. And that's really important. You need to find that level 6, in particular for Mira. Mikado.
Yeah, getting jumped. He'll go for the Focus Fire onto Lal. Try to go for the Man Fight. That's a great shackle out, but Lal is fine. Lal is going to be able to blink out just in the nick of time. So trying for the life of Makoto, but not having enough spells to throw out to really secure the kill, and Makoto making the right choice to just man up there and force Lal back to the fountain.
Yeah, gets a little bit of room for himself now to catch up after getting killed by Laurel. Might be able to get a kill opportunity onto Mira if he's not careful, but the TPs are coming back in. They are dragging in Maposhka down here as well.
They've got the Sonic Wave, so they want to just try and secure a kill. They're going to find Q on the Clinks. Q. TP attempt, but Mira has got the glimpse back. And that'll be the Clinks gone. No Sonic Wave necessary for that one. They'll just commit the Scream. Mira is going to survive the damage output of Ollie and Makoto, as Lal, looking to keep going, does just blink right in with a massive Sonic Wave, and Ollie is going to die to the impetus of Maposhka. 2 down in the mid lane for Talon and Team Spirit. Getting warmed up.
You're finding the punishment now. That focus onto mid. throwing off Mikado's tempo is going to be really big. This is a lot of room for the side lanes though. Jabs just finds the top tier 1 with no contestation. So you do manage to get a little bit more going here for Talon up top. And of course, Savage has had a pretty free lane as well down south. Number 1 in net worth is going to have a really early timing on that defusal on the Slark. So that might be a mild concern here. Overall, you're trading pretty nicely. Mikado is not having that early timing you'd want here, although.
I think it does get a nice shackle. Mira gonna drop. Lyle still playing here with Ollie, looking for the Rubik kill. Almost has it and will get it eventually before he does blink out. 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane. I'm pretty sure Lyle is sitting very pretty here now. 3 kills going to the Queen of Pain. 3rd in net worth on the Quap and having a fantastic game so far.
He's just managing to really push the Quap to its limits, use its magical damage well, and the priority from Team Spirit is to constantly keep eyes on mid. That investment is paying off. Laurel going into that Witchblade we tend to see in the Quap, into Akaya, more than likely into the Ags that we tend to see now as well. And that timing is going to be really key. Mikado still a ways off from finding anything like the Aetos or the Gleipnir. And it's going to be a long time for him to kind of build up bottom net worth. Well, second to bottom net worth core, right above Collapse still.
Attempt on
a full lock-in.
No shackles coming out on the Quap. He's going to be just fine. They do secure at least the regen themselves here on Talon as they are making the jump in on Mirror. Oh, and a very awkward pause coming out here from Jabs. Power shot is up for Makoto, and that is a max level power shot, so if he does land it, Mirror is just as good as dead. No chance of survival, doesn't have any raindrops on the Disruptor.
Slowing down as well, has a tar bomb on. Even if it doesn't land, I think he might be able to chase down on the supports after the kinetic field.
Ooh.
How did
no.
Did he instantly cancel?
He instantly cancelled because he must have casted it pre-pause. So he messes it up a little bit, but they get the kill anyway. Q will take.
Radiant's bottom tower
Still
is
happy
under
enough
attack.
finding that kill. Again, all the attention is being dragged in here into that mid lane. Savage showing up for a little bit to poke and prod, show off his new defusal. Doesn't really land a kill himself. So misses out an opportunity. We'll go back to farming. Again, most of this focus has been on mid. And it is starting to seem a bit harder for Mikado to land any control. Like, just shackle. He's managed to find a few good ones, but it's still level 1. That duration not long enough to find the burst onto something like the Quap here.
No, certainly not. That was always going to be the deal, right? Because you saw the Quap coming out as the last pick for Team Spirit, and you kind of knew straight away that there wasn't as much lockdown as you would hope for against the Queen of Pain. It just feels like a very free game for Lal, as long as he doesn't get caught by a rogue shackle or a pounce. I mean, sure, maybe later on you can work towards an Orchid build-up here if you are the Clinks. But generally speaking, after the Solar Crest, they usually want to go Nullifier. But the Orchid still could work very effectively against Team Spirit because you are up against the Quap and a Morphling. That might be the play for Q if he can find the farm. There's going to be a 2-man smoke being popped here. Talon looking to rotate down towards the south side of the map. 2-man smoke now from Lal and Mira, who are heading up top. Bottom lane, though, they are going to intervene first with Team Spirit. Maposhka and Collapse are hanging out, farming the creep wave. Meanwhile, top lane, Jabs is going to be spotted now by Team Spirit, but oh, they missed the Static Storm. Glimpse is going to be back, but it doesn't hold him in the kinetic field. Bit of a misplay here from Mira. Savage now going to join Jabs, chasing Team Spirit down. But it seems like Team Spirit are going to be more than out of here, just very far away. No chance of Talon catching them. But I think as Talon, you'll be happy to just avoid the gank attempt that was incoming. This bottom lane, Q, going to get started on Collapse, but it's just the Clinks hitting him. Jab's going to show up now, but it's a bit too late. Maposhka is fine. They do force a rotation. Mira is here. But I don't think Mira's going to be quite enough to help kill off the Timbersaw. Like, you need at least the Quap.
Yeah, you don't have the Static Storm Rider, so you can't really do too much here on that Disruptor. And they do have the Roar ready and Collapse if they want to go, and he is working towards the early Ags here. So wanting more impact in these fights. Wanting a little bit sustained coming out. Constant damage onto the Slark when he does pop that Shadow Dance as well. Not too far off here for Collapse, just 2 parts away. Just a little bit more farm time, as it does look like we've just done a lane swap here for Talon. 23 holding up top now. is pretty close to getting his next itemization, I'm fairly certain. I'm not sure if it was the Echo Saber coming out, which it should be. It is. Smoke out from Talon once more. 3-man smoke.
So they're going to try and bait in the mid lane. Makoto might just really push forward and start pressuring the mid tier 1 tower while his team just stays smoked around him. And here come the TPs. Mal is going to show up. Q does reveal himself. There is Ollie moving in with a lift up. Does find the quad, but now there is going to be a nice sonic wave out from Lal, but he has no blink away. So Talon finding that big target. Yutora actually to come in and morph into the Rubik, but now 23 Savage is looking to move in and fight, but no, it looks like they want to retreat. Talon jabs, he wants to keep going. Mira immediately going to drop here onto Disruptor as Jabs might want to keep going forward, but decides better of it. They've already found 2 very nice targets, and the mid-tier 1 tower is freely now just going to be taken by Talon. No chance of stopping that.
Big kills coming out for Talon there. Really good rotation onto the mid, even though the smoke was, you know, just instantly popped. They just force in mid. The response from Team Spirit a little bit scattered, not able to really get their spell usage out the way they'd want to. The use of Blink from Laurel, exposing him there. Really long cooldown when it's stuck at level 1. Shouldn't be an issue as the game goes on, but that is something Talon can use against them at this point in the game. And again, just really good force movement out. Savage did pop Shadow Dance pretty early, so he couldn't come in and get some permanent agi stacks. That's probably the one silver lining here for Team Spirit.
I think he was trying to avoid Yutora morphing into the Slark. That's why he went to the Shadow Dance, which is, you know, perfectly fine because he ended up morphing into the Rubik of all things. Q gonna get glimpsed back here by Miro. Won't amount to a kill for Team Spirit. The tier 1 tower about to drop, but Jabs is going to stand in the way of that. There's Talon now grouping up as 5 by the looks of it as they do move in. Collapse going to be the target here on the Beastmaster. Is going to go down very early into the backside. They've got Ollie. They've got the Wind Ranger locked in a static storm, but it's not going to matter because Team Spirit, they are the ones that need to run. Jabs will get a double. Lal is going to try and TP out and will barely make it. Makoto unable to find anyone else. But Talon, they are just smothering Team Spirit in this game one so far.
Movement's just been on point. Team Spirit, this is a little bit of a consequence from their lanes. You know, Mipashko with all those stats, not having too much to show for it yet. On that Enchantress, isn't really able to apply as much pressure. You're at the point where Savage is just free to jump in, even with just the Echo Saber. No ags up yet on the Slark, doesn't even matter, as he's just willing to jump forward. Again, you let Jabs take the Timbersaw. This is one thing that's been consistent for him across the years. And they managed to catch out with the Static Storm. The worst part is, all he does is grab it. So in the next team fight, you will have Static Storm ready here from the Rubik.
Yeah. Right. Lal again being caught out. Makoto and Savage finding a massive pick off onto the Queen of Pain once again. They knew somebody was hanging around there. They will catch them with their pants down. Lal, I mean, he had a great laning stage, but now sitting at 3, 2, and 1 in terms of KDA. Not feeling very good about himself. And Talon, I mean, there's just no need to slow down, it feels like. This side is just so far ahead now. 5k advantage, 16.5 minutes. They can just keep going, and look at this. Collapse is going to be spotted here by Q. Immediately into the Static Storm of the Rubik. Ollie with no hesitation. Collapse so close to having the axe up, but just still 400 gold away. Is mid lane. Run of Atos catching up Aposhka. Talon will not give them any breathing room. My God.
This is relentless coming out from Talon. I mean, it almost makes me ask, where was this Talon, the DPC? This felt a little bit lacking from them. Again, maybe that ass whooping kicks them into gear, lets them. They got Sunby riled up. I saw him actually on Twitter say that he was still traumatized from the DPC losses. So I'm sure, you know, it's just Sunby in the room is getting them to like, all right, guys, we got to play proper. Team Spirit. Again, this draft wasn't too bad. I think the lanes just doesn't work out the way they'd want to. Especially since you didn't lane the Enchantress into the Timbersaw to just try to get the impetus shots off, so Jabs has a little bit of a freer time. You're seeing Q just melt through a lot with his movement, getting a lot of information out as well with the Skeleton Walk. For Team Spirit, all their hopes are hinging on Yatora now to get big on this Morphling. He's not too far behind the top cores on Talon, but it's also not the healthiest position to be in right now.
is under attack.
Mid lane, Team Spirit, they might be setting up for a team fight attempt, but Talon again still feeling like they're the stronger team. Mira's going to move in. Static Storm is out. He caught Makoto. It's a good start, but look at the damage. Jabs is dealing to the side of Spirit. Collapse is already gone. They're trying to deal with Jabs, but Jabs is a temper. He's too tanky. Spirit need to run. Q is still on the chase. Mira being slowed up should just drop as Savage on the chase is securing the kill.
Oh.
Now a shackle. Makoto on the creep wave is going to have to watch Yatoro waveform out.
Dire's middle tower.
But making sure he knew that the shackle hit before he left.
Man, this is just on point. Talon covering each other's backs really well. The one-man Static Storm. Spirit just looking for a pick-off, can't even find it. Jabs intercepts, gets the great Timber Chain across to prevent them from running forward, using his body as a shield to protect their mid. And it just pays off. Only one outer tower left for Team Spirit, 19 minutes in. 15-4, 11k lead for Talon. The BKB for 23 Savage flying out now with the disassembly play on the Echo Saber. So he's going to be fine in the middle of these engagements. We're seeing that replay again. Just a movement from Jabs. Cuts him off. They want to run in. They want to keep chain stunning Mikado. Burst him down, but what? You can't burst through a Timber Saw.
You certainly can't. This hero is just proving to be way too strong right now. And you got to give all props to Jabs. He's been having a real clean performances. Mid lane. Mikado with these shackles.
Jeez.
Someone went to geometry class, or rather trigonometry here, Johnny. He's got all the angles going. Top lane. Savage, though, he didn't, because he goes down. Wrong area for Savage, back to the classroom for him.
It's a pretty big kill for Team Spirit to find, to trade away just for the inch. You're more than happy for Team Spirit to actually get that, catching the fish out of water right there. Savage cooking up a little bit too far outside the kitchen. It's going to be punished out for it. Talon still in a pretty good spot. Again, at the least for Savage, he didn't pop the BKB, so he still has that 9-second charge ready to go. Just have to be cautious about playing greedy here, Talon. Team Spirit, the kind of team that can punish when you start slipping up on map control, when you start playing a little bit undisciplined here.
Is under attack.
I mean, Team Spirit are nowhere near out of this game yet. Like, Dota Plus currently sitting at 14% for Team Spirit, but we've seen bigger comebacks from this side. The group up will be there from Spirit. Manta Style now up on Yatoro. They are just going to try and secure the Tormentor on the dire end of things. Free shots here for Maposhka, but Roshan is happening in the meantime. Talon getting away with this for completely nothing. Just absolutely free Roshan here for Talon. Although Team Spirit did pop the smoke, they are not going to make it in time. There's no point trying to force the fight now. They'll retreat immediately after seeing the Roshan had already gone. And Talon, they're just back to split pushing the top lane. They seem to know Spirit are hanging around the bottom lane somewhere, as they did just take their own Tormentor. And if you are Talon, you can start thinking about that top tier 2 tower now.
Just take care of the last outer tower left from Team Spirit. Start thinking about that high ground pressure that your lineup can bring with a front line of Jabs. Shouldn't be too hard to pull off. The bot tier 1 finally falls for Team Spirit, so they get some map control back their way, just not enough to offset what Talon's found, but at the least there's some farming room now for Laurel, for Collapse, for Yatoro to kind of work towards. Top tier 2 will go down without defense. Again, with all outer towers gone, Talon, they've got a lot of room to do what they want right now.
And they're just rotating across the map, like they want the fight. They don't believe Spirit has what it takes to fight back right now, and I can't quite blame them for thinking that way with the Aegis up on their Wind Ranger. Q. It's gonna find Mira. Can't cancel the TP, however. Will eventually reveal himself down on this bottom wave. Lal is nearby, but it's gonna be quite hard to hold down the Queen of Pain. And they aren't gonna know he's there anyway, so he's gonna be just fine.
Dire are scanning.
Talon is still just roaming the map, trying to find somebody to pick off. Team Spirit doing a very, very good job of just staying completely away from Talon, though as I say that, Yatoro is currently being stalked by Savage. But I don't believe Savage quite saw him. Yatoro does back off towards the base at the right moment. It's very important Yatoro gets to that Ags timing before they can get going again as Spirit. Talon, though, grouping up now for the top tier 3 tower, perhaps. Collapse. Oh, he's in a very awkward position. Caught out with the shackle on the neutral camp. And Collapse just has no chance of survival.
Just melts. Not much you can really do there. High ground opens up without that Beastmaster.
Atos out. They've got Mira. Mira is going to drop. Power shot is perfect from Makoto. Depth Shroud even being placed down just in case Makoto needed it. But now the tier 3 top tower is already under siege from Talon. Team Spirit are the ones that need to find a way to defend this, but it's looking rather tough as they've already got 2 heroes down. Now Savage, he'll jump in onto Maposhka. Sonic Wave, it will do nothing. This top racks, it looks like you just have to give it up. You haven't got the bodies to throw at Talon at the moment. And hell, even if you did, I just don't think you could take the fight. You need more time to Spirit.
You need Yatoro to be ready to come in, and he's just not. One part away from that full axe, does have the gold for it. So perhaps now you can take a follow-up fight. You've only sacrificed 1 set of racks, not the worst in the world. Now we've got to see what Yatoro can do with that morph. What form will he prioritize? A lot of good forms. As you mentioned, the Slark probably the biggest one, but turning into a universal type isn't too shabby as well if you feel like all you need is some durability and damage in the middle of these engagements. Like the Wind Ranger could be one as well for the Morphling if Yatoro feels like it. Again, 40% stat steal, nothing to laugh at. Softens up Mikado in a huge way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Talon, they've fully pulled back. Just kind of hanging around her triangle, maybe looking to wait out a smoke as they will smoke in, but Spirit's also smoked out here.
They certainly are. Thing is, though, John, Q just picked up a Scythe of Vice, so this could be a pretty big surprise reveal from the Clinks. Obviously, you have the Ags on Yatoro, which is their own like kind of item power spike, as they are going to run right into Talon. 23 has his smoke broken, but Team Spirit, they'll hold on to the high ground advantage for now. Talon will just rush right up. They won't even think about it. Yatoro, Collapse, they're just farming the Ancient at the moment. Trying to get rid of this camp before they do retreat. Makoto gets a shackle off though. They found the Morphling. Yatoro, he got the strength morph in time. He's going to be fine as Q is the first one to drop on the Clinks, and now Savage, he's dropping low as well. Pound's going to cancel the TP, but no, he had the BKB off. Sonic Wave will do nothing. Ollie, he will drop. Jabs being left behind. He's going to try for the chains TP away, and he's going to make it. But it is a successful team fight for Team Spirit. Finding 2 for nothing. Something they desperately needed.
There's a very forced fight coming out from Talon. They don't have the easiest ways to bring their heroes to bear. And the only highly mobile here is really Jab. So even with that lockdown onto Yatoro, they couldn't quite get the output. I mean, Savage still doesn't have the full Ags. He needs that added pounce range. He needs the pounce charges up here as well to be able to start clearing out these heroes. And without it, it's just a little bit awkward for them to reach out. And that is a Hex reveal coming out from Q as well. It's really impactful in getting that control. Just, again, the follow-through is lacking. At the least, for Talon, they only lose their supports. So you could have asked for more here in Team Spirit, but you know, beggars can't be choosers.
Lol, side device is there from Q. Blink up in a couple, but it won't matter. Jabs gets it done just in time. And it's just the hard part as a quap against the Clinks with the side devices. You never know when it's coming. Nothing like a Lincoln's or a BKB up on the Queen of Pain to try and avoid all this. So Talon, even with that lost engagement they just had, they are once again applying pressure, understanding they are still the stronger team at this point in time. Understanding as well, the more time they give to Yatoro, the scarier this Morphling is going to get. Don't forget either, like Maposhka on this Ench, while it is a support, these Ench, they do tend to scale very nicely into the late game. You already see Maposhka with the Dragonlance, Growth Bow, and even in that last engagement, looking at the highlights, like he was hitting very hard with the Impetus already.
Oh.
Rod of Atos. They've caught Mira with the Shackle. Focus Fire is going to be there as well from Makoto, taking Mira down. Yatoro has jumped in. A stolen Static Storm now from Ollie, trying to hold the Morphling, but Yatoro is still fine. They will go for the fight. They are still trying to target the Morph, but he just waveforms out. Now Savage, does he really want a man fight? The Raw holds him down. Savage is gone. Uh-oh. 3 down for Talon. Team Spirit suddenly looking very good as a second team fight in a row has been won. If you're Talon, John, I don't know. I think you might need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, it's a massive win for Spirit. Like, they get the chain stuns off once more. They focus everything they have on Talon to just take out Mira, but he already dropped the Static Storm. Sure, the stolen Static Storm was nice from Ollie, but where's your lockdown to keep them in there?
Dust that on Q. Sight the Vice onto the Queen of Pain, but Lal is going to survive the damage from Jabs. So even Q going down now on the Clinks. That'll be the 4th hero of Talon going down. So Talon down to a 4k net worth advantage from 10k just a minute ago. More importantly, Team Spirit is slowly starting to look like the stronger draft. The big boy, of course, Yatoro on this Morphling is proving to be the big issue now. Sitting at top net worth on the board. As you can see the highlights here from that last fight. Everything thrown onto the Morph, but he just manages to waveform away. And Savage just getting caught with his pants down here in the triangle, getting roared up by Collapse, just unable to survive through it.
Yeah, just couldn't use that Shadow Dance fast enough with a BKB. Severe punishment coming out from Team Spirit. Again, as the game goes on, this draft just gets stronger and stronger. Your presence on the Quap or the Ags is just devastating in these prolonged team fights with a constant spam. Yatoro gets a lot more damage as the game goes on, has a lot of utility in turning into the Wind Ranger or the Slark here. And the Beastmaster Roar stays relevant. It's your debuff immunity's piercing stun. Nothing like that exists on Talon's end unless Ollie manages to get a great steal. At the least now for Talon, the Ags is up for 23. So finding the angles in to jump is a little bit easier for him. Rush control is the way of Team Spirit though. Still 2 minutes until the respawn. That does mean it will spawn down south in daytime. Looks like they are just going to focus in on that objective. If they do manage to take that Roche for free on Team Spirit's end, that could be a very easy high ground. Their push is pretty damn fast. It's still a Beastmaster alignment up with an inch. Doesn't take too long for them to multi objectives once they're on top of it.
And they have a stronger Roshing lineup, right? Because they have all these units and Hawks that they can throw out around the Roshan pit for vision. Which makes it very hard for Talon to actually close into the Roshan pit if Team Spirit do start it. And around this kind of enclosed area, Team Spirit can be very confident knowing when Talon are coming for that counter of the Roshan attempters. Smoke on smoke? Team Spirit? Forget about the Roshan pit, they're going straight for the fight and both sides are running right into each other. Who sees who first though? There is nice vision here around from Team Spirit. Keep in mind the Hawks and the Observer Wards are giving a lot of info here once the smoke wears off. Talon need to be very cautious about this one because Roshan will go for free if they lose this fight. Jab's going to jump in, seeing Maposhka. They've already got one. It's a good start for Talon, but the buyback is there from Maposhka. It's now Spirit. They want the fight, but Talon want to waste the buyback. Jabs, he'll get glimpsed back into the Static Storm. He is melting real darn quick, but a great shackle shot from Makoto. Holding down two of them once again. Jabs, barely alive. A shackle though from Yatoro going to lock him down and make sure he does end up dying. As Savage has to pop the BKB to run. Lal will be on the chase, but Savage going to TP out. Shackle, it's not going to matter. But the glimpse is there. The glimpse is there. Savage is not going to make it. 2 cores down for Talon. And now Spirit, they will have free entry to the Roshan pit. And it's going to be up in 24 seconds. But I highly doubt Talon can try to contest this now.
It's not one they can afford to contest now. Just stem the bleeding. Hold back, maybe try to shove in the lanes while Team Spirit go for that objective. A little bit of an awkward fight for Talon. Again, they are fighting under really good vision control from the side of Team Spirit. 23 tries to pounce forward, but doesn't find anything. He did pop the Shadow Dance early once more. And if you can't land that pounce in the Slark, it just feels like waiting for that cooldown, despite it being fairly low, is painful. It's a lot of time for you to reposition, to try to find an advantage here on the side of Team Spirit. Again, just the glimpse coming through as the debuff immunity fades there from 23. Catches him off guard and finds that kill.
Roshan's going to get started, but Talon have pushed out the top and mid lane here, John. So Q's being very annoying because he's just keeping the mid lane forced in. Only Mira is around to try and defend this. Roshan, though, extremely low now. Makoto will get the vision, but it's all too late. Team Spirit, they'll pick up the Aegis cheese for themselves and immediately retreat to base to try and defend this mid lane. Now Q, roll out. Yatoro, he got stuck. Yatoro caught by himself, but Manta is there to dodge out the route. He'll just morph into the Wind Ranger and just run away. Q is out though with the Sight device, holding down the Morphling. Yatoro, he can't make it. They've lost the Aegis. Yatoro, surely no way out now. He'll BKB though. He'll be fine. How did he get caught the first time? I didn't quite catch it.
They had a stolen roar already on Ollie. He had it from the last fight. Instantly gets that control out. Nothing like a Lincoln's up on Yatoro. So he's just pinned down, and the follow-through is there from Talon. Talon, that's a pretty big kill. That prevents that momentum for Team Spirit to threaten high ground realistically here, as long as Talon doesn't drop any other fights. And that's all off the back of this play from Q, forcing the TPs into the mid-tier 3, and then opening up this opportunity to punish Yatoro, who stays behind. It's not enough to equalize the game once more, but again, the threat of high ground from Team Spirit, the threat of a very fast push coming out with that secondary life, dissipates just a little bit more. And Talon has some breathing room for themselves. Still have a lot of issues to fix up, but if Ollie's positioning in the middle of these fights is great, then a stolen roar like that, a stolen static storm, can still kind of set up for themselves here. Still, Team Spirit, not the biggest loss. That is just Aegis. You still have the cheese sitting comfy here on Laurel's pocket. And again, you're just growing bigger and bigger in Yatoro, working his way towards the Scotty, more stats to play with. The Wind Ranger form is not something Talon can deal with. They just have no way of piercing through, and you can see again that stolen roar being so impactful there.
Yep. Yatoro losing the Aegis here. Pretty big play from Talon. Something that Team Spirit did not really want to have to see, but nevertheless, still in a very strong position is Team Spirit. So is Talon, though. When you look at Q on the Clinks, he's getting to that point now where he's really starting to turn into a big core here. Has the Desolator now up on the Clinks. So those right clicks are starting to hurt, and he has much more ability to just rat out the lanes with that minus armor on these towers. As the mid-tier 2 tower is going to go down to Team Spirit, but Q already in the Dire base, forcing Lyle back. Now Talon, knowing the Quap is not around, they want the fight, they'll move in with the Shackle, finding Collapse immediately. That is your Beastmaster gone. Makoto, he's going to have a look for a bit more. Q's going to move in from the north, locking down another, and that is going to be mirrored down. So 2 immediately dead for Team Spirit. And it's back to the drawing board for them. Time to hold high ground once again.
At least you still have this flash buyback ready for our Disruptor to come in with a Static Storm if necessary. That will impact Zag's timing, but if the opportunity presents itself, Team Spirit should be able to still take that fight here for the high ground defense, if Talon forces the issue. Mind you, this is not the safest position for Talon to still force the advantage. You still have to worry about Yatoro, you still have to worry about holding down Laurel. I think the hit and run strategy from Talon is probably their safest bet here, if they can just constantly force these pickoffs away. Still keeping every lane shoved in, and Q doing a fantastic job of keeping Talon in a strong position in this game. Really just down to this Clinks being so disruptive, forcing out every single lane, threatening kills by himself. And once Q gets a BKB, I mean, he's pretty much just another core. And this is just classic Q gameplay. He scales up, he plays a greedier position 4, but if the investment's there, the payoff is quite huge.
Another smoke from Spirit. They'll smoke behind Yatoro up at top lane. Hoping perhaps that Talon are trying to find the Morphling, but Talon not around that area. They've been hanging out at around mid. Just around the Dire triangle right now is Talon. Bottom lane's actually being pinged out because Collapse is there to try and defend this lane. They can just start on pushing the bottom tier 3 tower. You can actually push multiple lanes at once as well, because again, Q can just kind of do one lane himself if he really wants to. We'll start moving in with the Skeleton Archers. They do a lot of damage to these tier 3s.
Jeez.
Such an annoying thing about the support Clinks. Even with no items, he would be able to do this, and it's just kind of ridiculous how much damage this support does right now.
Quite a fair bit, and again, it's forcing Team Spirit to play further back than they'd want to. They can keep stalling out for the next Roche and try to force a fight right before the spawn. Then just, again, overwhelm Talon into the pit. Next Roshan's going to be a big one for both sides here to set their eyes on. Talon still in an aggressive position here.
Yeah, but Spirit's got the high ground. A nice shackle. Makoto, great start. Has gone Maposhka. Lim's back on jabs, making his life a little bit more challenging, but Team Spirit, I don't think, can fight without the Pulse 5-inch. That'll be about it for them. Talon, they could attempt high ground, knowing that he is down for a minute. No buyback available right now on Maposhka.
Yeah. It's an opportunity. Again, the push comes out fast with Q here.
Skadi was also just bought out by Yatoro, so he's not going to have gold for buyback if he does end up going down in the next team fight, by the way. Feeling as though he may have just needed the Skadi for this high ground defense, though, as the game might just be over anyway. Q, Linken's is broken. Mira unable to get the glimpse off. They'll get the D ward immediately on the sentry. Lal can have a bit of a jump in. Yatoro trying to chase for more as well. Yatoro needs to be a little bit cautious. Instead, they'll sight the vice up Lal, but he's still jumping forward. Shackles will lock him down. But Team Spirit, just with the aggressive posturing, are forcing Talon back successfully. And Talon unwilling to risk it without a free Aegis on their side of things. They'll have to leave it be for now. So Team Spirit, very, very good kind of high ground defense here from them. And for Talon, again, they're not interested in rushing this game if they can avoid it.
No. Have to take it easy, take it slow. Don't give any openings out to the side of Team Spirit, especially with Roche hanging on the line. We'll see that respawn timer in about a minute here. If it's a quick one, it's actually a little bit easier for Spirit up top. So they can access the dire Roshan spawn a little bit better if it does stay at night, but daytime is coming in 30 seconds, so it's always going to be a day spawn here. BKB fully up for Q, so you can get down to even more shenanigans to clear out. That mid-tier tree, not the healthiest now. A threat for the racks is open. Talon just into the Tormentors. Blink up and running for Collapse. Some easier time to follow through from when Larl does commit. And just the Blink Roar. Again, that's been a big issue for Talon. Nothing like a Linken's up, although you do have one in 23 at the very least. Catching out the Slark's a little bit of a taller order, and Mikado has one as well. Right, they're sort of set up for the Roar plays. But if Collapse manages to get a pop from someone else, then that's the opening they could use. Smoke out here.
Well, they want to try and abuse it. The Blink surprise reveal from Collapse could really pay off dividends here from Spirit. Talon doing a very good job of going back towards the base, though. And Q is alone down at the bottom lane, but he's in that skeletal walk right now, so you can't really see him at the moment. He'll be just fine to retreat, as it seems like Talon might start slowly setting up for a counter smoke attempt. And they will. They seem to know Spirit around the bot lane somewhere, so they draw the line out right through the Radiant jungle. They'll run towards the east of the map. Team Spirit just waiting on that southern side by the high ground. They've got wards around this area with Hawks. So they want to play around their own vision, get the big jump they're looking for. So much pressure on Collapse to find the roar that the team needs, preferably on a Wind Ranger or Slark. But again, you need to break these Linken's first. Roshan now revealing itself as well, has respawned early. So even more important for this next team fight is Spirit. Do they expect the high ground position? Lal, he's going to jump in. He had the Hawk to provide the vision, but he jumped in a little bit too early. He will still be fine to blink out. Not getting caught off guard here.
Oh, no, why switch? Oh my god. You're stuck in that little triangle.
Roar out. So they have caught jabs here on the Timber. Jabs proving to be very tanky though, and now a Shackle coming out. Mikado! He's done it again! Finding two targets. Meanwhile, Q's pushing in the mid wave, by the way. He's into the dire base.
What a player.
Q and Maposhka are going at it. The mid-rax is gone. Bottom lane, they're chasing for more now. Team Spirit are two split up. They can't take this fight any longer. Yatoro trying to hide in the tree line. He'll go for a Shackle, revealing himself onto Mikado, moving in. Yatoro, he does take down the Wind Ranger. Immediate BKB TP out as well. So he gets some value for his team. Sadly, Mira is going to be left behind. Just wasting a lot of time for Spirit, as Talon is still chasing him down. They've got the glimpse up and they've got the vision. So Mira is not going to be able to escape. Sadly for Team Spirit, they did lose a mid-rax while all that was happening. And you can't really say Roshan is guaranteed for either side yet. 3 heroes down on both teams. And I think both of them may just wait for the respawns first.
It's going to be a little bit faster for Spirit to at least have their core respawn here. A Hex up now for Jabs. A little bit of an easier time to try to reel in control in these team fights. Spirit rushing in. Can't afford to give this Roshan away. Talon's still hanging around in the area. A very risky fight to take with Yatoro enabled the way he is. They have the Rosh advantage. And with an early respawn for Collapse, they can't just gun for this.
Talon can't really afford to let this one go, I don't think. Team Spirit, they hit the Roshan a little bit, but seeing how slowly it's being taken, they are going to retreat for now. Collapse wants to go through the twin gates, but Talon are literally just waiting in that area. He's going to go now. His team will try to protect him. Lyle going to jump in to make sure Collapse is fine. Collapse just blinking away towards the north. Team Spirit successfully protect the Beastmaster as he is able to rejoin the team. Though now Yatoro is going for a bit of a holiday across the map. So they don't have their Morphling now. Yatoro, I think, just left his Mantra Illusions to push out the top wave. As the creeps are in the dire base at the moment. Lyle, he blinks in. They found Makoto. That's a huge kill, but the Depth Shroud is going to allow him time to get out of this. The Savage will pounce out. Meanwhile, towards the north, Q moving in onto Mirror, unable to finish the kill, is forced to run away. In comes Jabs again on the Timber, trying to go after Yatoro. No, they want Lyle. They pounce and lock him down, but Lyle's still alive, but not for long. The Shackle, it's going to lock him down again, but he's got
Jabs?
the buyback. He'll try to return back into this team fight. As Jabs is gone. No buyback for the Timber. Mirror going down to boot here on the Disruptor, but he can rejoin the fight with the buyback. Problem is, lines have been drawn out again through the mid lane, so Talon, they're going to leave Roshan, but they're going to force the retreat from Spirit by going through mid. In fact, Savage picked up a DD rune, so now they found Lyle. Scythe the Vice going to lock him down into the pounce. Lyle is gone.
Dieback.
That's a dieback on your Queen of Pain. This is very problematic now for Spirit. They are trying to fight down a bot lane, but Makoto is just kiting them out. I don't think they have time for Roshan. They can't do it.
They can't. They're still hanging around the area, though. Talon not fully committing for the push, but they've got them backing off. They might be able to snipe some people here.
Yatoro?
Oh,
Slark? 23 Savage? He's pounced onto him. Side
Hex?
device is out. He hasn't got
No
the strength
way.
off Yatoro. He's alright. The Manta gonna save his life. Q, he's the one to go down as Savage. Gonna keep going with this fight. A great Gleipnir from Makoto. Moving on to Collapse.
Shackle.
The Shackle. Makoto! He just can't miss. Maploshka trying to salvage the situation. Makoto is still going. Savage on the chase, but doesn't have any pounce charges. And Mira is going to make it out. So Talon still finding two for their trouble. We're forced to buy back on Q, but they are able to go after the Roshan now. Problem is, Roshan went to the other side of the map, so time for the Twin Gates, boys.
trying to get across, take that Roshan. It's a much better position for them to actually take this Rosh. No vision here from Team Spirit, so they can't even think about a snipe. So we can take a look at a replay in that fight. Again, a great movement coming out there from Talon to go into the side, sniping out. If they manage to land that first pounce, that could have been a very different fight coming in. Mikado just on point with these shackles every single time. And now the Aegis going the way of Talon. Secondary life actually up on Q. So they give the Aegis out to our pause 4 quote-unquote Clinks. And Q can now do some funky stuff on this high ground push. He can just make some forced plays. He could threaten for the mega creeps all by himself here.
Yeah, Q is such a menace. Q is such a damn menace on this Clinks. He's done so much work for Talon in this game 1. Talon looking for the final lane of Barracks. Keeping in mind, they do still have a range Barracks to take down in the mid lane, but it's on 180 HP. Not going to take too much time. Mira, top lane, going to get bounced on here by Jabs. Side device immediately out, and Mira is down. A nice start as Mira does not have buyback. Team Spirit now playing 4v5 to try and defend high ground. Some impetus being thrown out on 23 Savage, but he is able to just pounce away. It's Talon. One hero advantage, even having the Aegis up on the Clinks, should want to go for the last lane of Barracks and get the Megas up. Team Spirit, the ones that need to find a way to defend this. They do at least have buyback on their carry Morph, and they do have one on their Beastmaster, as well as Maposhka. Jump is there, Scythe the Vice out, immediately onto Yatoro. Lyle's trying to protect him, but the Morphling, he just can't get back to his normal form. The Mantra is there, but he's been pounced on, he is gone. Buyback is immediate. Yatoro TPing back into the bot lane, trying to get prepared for this defense once again. Looking for a target, but Talon, they're happy with the buyback being committed. They will refresh and look to move back in again. Team Spirit on the knife's edge now. If they lose this Morphling, the game is as good as done. But do Talon stick around? It seems like they will try. Savage counts in on Maposhka. He has buyback. He will commit immediately. But the melee barracks is gone. Lal trying to jump in, but the side device immediately out from Q, not allowing the Quap to get away. They'll try to just force-staff him out. Lal will barely make it. Meanwhile, Yatoro, he'll move forward as the Morphling, but he's going to make magic happen. He'll move into 23 Savage. The Slug trying to run.
Oh, the
a shackle though. Yatoro going to lock him down. Savage is down. No buyback available now for the Slug, but they have Megas. They do have the Megas up here, John. It's not going to be an easy game for Spirit to try and come back from.
Definitely not. They've already got one tier 4 gone as well, so they can't really afford to leave their base for too long. Inside of Talon, in a pretty precarious spot. Same thing goes for Spirit, though. Like, one loss on any of their cores, and the game will open up for Talon in a big way. Very disciplined from both sides to poke back and forth like that. Eventually, though, Talon coming out on top. Just easier to commit for the push when you've got that Plinks up. Buyback ready on Savage now. Does come out with some gold coming through. They might be able to find something. Spirit, Roshan's still a long ways off. The push going out. It is pretty fast from the side of Spirit, to be fair. They have fairly decent wave clear. But they have to be careful. All this control from Talon, the multiple hexes they have on hand, causing a lot of issues for a lot of these heroes. Heck, even Ollie queuing up a Sight of Vice as well. Just have to be careful here. And they have a good understanding on Talon. Once you pin one of these heroes down, clean them up, it doesn't take too much. Even Yatoro, he's not invulnerable once he's turned into a nice little chicken there.
Yeah, I mean, you're about to have 3 sites up. For Talon, that is. They are certainly paying off very, very nicely here for the Talon boys. Again, Team Spirit, they're not out of this game yet. But being up against Megas, it'll have to be a very big comeback. Dota Plus giving them 4% chance of a comeback this game. So not too bad, because you'd expect it to be like 1% at this point. That is not the case, however. 4% is the number Game has decided to give them. Team Spirit now going to go for that Tormentor on the Dire side. We'll be able to take it fairly easily, trying to avoid the supports dying. It's like Yatoro will be able to pick up the Morph now, or rather the Shards, excuse me. So the Adaptive Strike bonuses and the Attribute Shift bonuses is going to feel very nice for him. I mean, much harder to try and pin down Yatoro and just finish off the kill. Talon, smoked up as 4. They are trying to move in through the bot lane. Nobody around to break this smoke, but they are very hesitant to move up without vision. He comes slowly but surely. Makoto will win run up. Collapse is spotted. Pings are out. They'd love a target like this, and the Sight device is going to make it very easy for Collapse to be bursted down. So they have dropped the Static Storm preemptively, but it's a 4v5 situation now for Team Spirit. They're trying to deal with jabs on the Timber, but with the Depth Strat, he is taking no damage. Can they do it? Team Spirit, 4v5. They'll hold on to one tier 4 tower. Talon moving in, looking for the Jugular. They'll jump in now. Sight device is down. Yatoro immediately targeted, but he does get his way out as he pops the BKB. Morphs, looking for jabs. Immediately onto the Timber. Never mind that. He wants Ollie on the Rubik, but the Glimmer is going to save the Rubik for now. Yatoro, a double shackle out. Jabs, he might die and he's gone. They've got the Timber. They've got Savage. What a defense from Team Spirit. And I'll tell you, Yatoro, he's looking like a bit of Wind Ranger than Makoto has this game. What are these shackles?
He's just as sharp as Mikado is. Landing the shackles that they need to find these opportunities without the Beastmaster. Talon, they're looking for that endgame, but not able to find it. They might be able to maybe catch someone off guard. Still, got enough control with the 3 heroes they have on hand. The double hex still a threat. If someone overextends, they will snipe a courier from Ryatoro. So that is the Satanic that can be stalled out a little bit here.
Oh, playing with fire at the bot lane. Talon are waiting around that area, and the Sight device could come out. Lyle does have teammates around him though. Mira's going to show up to break the Lincolns on Makoto, as Lyle's just going to blink right into him with the focus fire already going. Ollie and Q just holding the high ground position now as Lal is still blinking forward, trying to keep the vision up on Makoto, but decides better of it. Still does force them away from the bot lane. Yatoro will be there to join them, so suddenly Talon need to be a lot more cautious about being in this position. They'll head towards the west of the map. The mid lane Spirit will reveal themselves on the creep wave, but I don't think Talon can really afford to jump in without Jabs and Savage being available.
That's a massive risk. They will respawn shortly, and again, they still have buybacks available here. Team Spirit, they've stalled out long enough.
Makoto's thinking about it. He had nice angles for the shackles. Meanwhile, Q is actually destroying Yatoro in terms of the HP pool. This Clinks is basically its own core now. Can't underestimate the amount of damage Q can pump out, as Maposhka's about to find out the hard way, I think, here, John. So no, he will be able to run away. Q not popping the scythe device. Maposhka actually has his own moonshot up now with the Hurricane Pike, so needing all the damage they can get, and certainly the enches are very hard here at this stage of the game. 54 minutes in, Talon still finding a way to get through that final tier 4 tower and go after the Ancient. Team Spirit more than happy to just hold high ground for now and try and increase their probability of having a comeback this game 1. Again, it's been proving to be very important for these teams in Group A to try and get some 2-0 victories here, because the tiebreaker could be absolutely huge with the amount of teams tied right now in the standings. In Team Spirit, they are very desperate for a 2-0 victory, if anything. Talon not minding quite as much because they are in first place at the moment, I believe tied with Tundra. Still, 22k advantage Talon. They'll take this one easy. They'll take their time.
We're at the point
4%
where
win probability is still the number that Gaben is providing for us here for Team Spirit. 4%'s better than 0, John.
it is. Dota Plus, again, a little bit more generous than it was in the last patch. Roshan, a minute 40 left. It will spawn down south as it is nighttime now. No vision there from either side. Team Spirit barely able to really leave their base, but they will go for a smoke out now. Massive risk. Buybacks are ready in most heroes, though. So they have managed to reset on Team Spirit's side. Just see if they find someone now.
They're running right into Q. They are being very, very slow, just pacing up. Collapse, gonna see Q. Lincoln's broken. He will find the Clinks. This is the target they'd love to get rid of. The lift up though, Ollie. Buying time for Q. He got the BKB off. He's out of there. Ollie saving the day just barely. He survives on 100 HP. Oh, that's gonna hurt the Spirit. That's really gonna hurt.
That's nutty. Again, they're setting up Roche control up top. Just gonna wait it out. A minute left. If Team Spirit finds that pick off before Roche, that opens up the game for them. Have to be careful, Mikado.
They found Collapse. Shackles out, Collapse. 4 staffs away, not gonna be enough. Does have buyback. Would rather not commit it if he could avoid it, but he's down for 80 seconds and Roshan's up in 30. And I think, forget about Roshan. Talon, they want to go for the high ground, but Team Spirit, they've moved down to the low ground now. Shackled out again. Mirror immediately caught out. 2 down now. Mirror with no buyback available on the Disruptor. So Collapse, he may have to buy back very soon.
Got to do something about this. Talon, again, they can threaten this Ancient with the Clinks so damn fast.
Lal looking to be the target. Q will leave some Skelly boys behind to get the job done here with the tier 4 tower. Makoto not quite landing with the shackles. Collapse now has brought back, but Talon are successfully retreating. Doesn't take them very long to get out of this base. Roshan is now officially up as well, so Talon going to start running right to the Roshan pit, top left corner of the map. And as Team Spirit, like, the thing is, you can't afford to leave the base right now. I don't think you can afford to fight without your full 5. And the creeps are always going to be coming in, so I think you have to just wait for the Aegis to be taken by Talon and just hope for a good high ground defense to come.
Just have to surrender it. Doesn't take too long for Talon to rip it apart. The damage output on Mikado and 23 at this point. They will have the Cheese, Aegis, and a refresh shard from the top Roche. So we'll have more usage coming out from 23, double BKB, 4 sets of pounces. Double usage of Shadow Dance, double usage of Depth Shroud. That could turn the fight here. Spirit, they've got to watch their positioning, and at the least, they've always got Hawk Vision. If you don't smoke up in Talon, the angles are very hard to find here.
It's absolutely massive here for the Slark. Double cheese available on Talon as well to make matters worse. Team Spirit still prepping for the high ground defense. Yatoro has no buyback available on the Morphling right now. I believe he bought out the full Butterfly and Satanic, so needs to farm gold very quickly because he is 1.5k short for that buyback, and that would be very nice to have for this next high ground defense. He's going to reveal himself on the bot wave as well, so Talon, they're going to try and rush in through the top. Lal could be the big target they're looking for. Lal needs to get out, but Jabs is out with the side device, holding the Quap down. Lal, he gets the BKB off in time. He will be able to blink away. Jabs does retreat successfully. Team Spirit, they have brought Yatoro back for the fight. Creeps on the Ancient, but they will address those immediately. Talon still being very cautious not to throw this game back the way of Spirit. Though Talon, if they knew Yatoro was 900 gold away from buyback, I feel like they'd be jumping right now. Yatoro desperately trying to get that gold up immediately. Talon, though, keeping up the pressure from all sides. The Team Spirit, they're like a curled up ball right now around that Ancient. Strength in numbers. Kleipnir is out. Makoto trying to go onto Lal again, but Lal is okay to walk as now Jabs getting roared up. They're trying to take down Mira. They know he has no buyback, but Mira will get back to the fountain. Meanwhile, though, Lal, he gets caught. He is down. He has to buy back immediately. Meanwhile, Maposhka also going to drop, but the Edge also had buyback. He'll be back into the fight as Team Spirit still have 5, still moving out, trying to find Makoto. They break the linkers, but Makoto just win runs out. Not giving them a chance. And there's only, what, 1 buyback left here on Team Spirit. It is going to be Yatoro's buyback.
Ooh. Dagon's up for Laurel. Looking for the burst play. At least one source more to break off that Lincoln's here. And Chabs, he went all the way back home. Wanted to buy out first before coming back in. So you're not able to really use this to your advantage just yet for Talon, but there is a double damage rune here. Oh, man.
Like I lied, by the way, Jonathan. You do have buyback on Mira as well. Just an update. There's tier 5 items come out. We're at the 60-minute mark. Stygian Desolator for our Clinks, so Q hits even harder. Fallen Sky for Jabs. Sea Stone for the Slark. Just something I wouldn't quite expect for Old Savage, but there you go.
I think it's just for the pounce. Just to have more cast range.
Sure. Why not? Sea Stone coming out for Collapse, so he wants that cast range as well. But they don't have much time to farm these up, so they've got to jump in. Rory's out. Q being the target on the clinks, but Ollie again lifting him away as Collapse and Maposhka both dead. Jabs and Makoto taking care of it. Now the Ancient under siege. Q is just trying to get the game over. Makoto, he's going to lose the Ancients. Yatoro is trying so damn hard to keep this game going. They'll pop the glyph. Q is just ignoring them completely. GG is called. And that's why this Clinks hero makes me sick, John. Because he just completely ignores the team fight. Goes right after the